All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this interview is brought to you by Burn It Up Coaching and Become Your Greatest Possible Self and the 21-Day Challenge. And if you're an entrepreneur or a high achiever and you're committed to achieving your next level of growth, you have been stuck, you've been spinning your wheels, you've been overwhelmed, you feel like you're not truly on purpose with a purpose, you feel like you're missing out on your greatness and your greatest possible self, you're not quite living that, you're not quite meeting that bar that you know you're capable of, the 21-Day Challenge could be the reignition of your passion, your self-belief, and your success like you've never seen before, that you've been desiring and craving and hungering and thirsting for. So what we'll do is we'll get clear on your statement of purpose, your life purpose, what it is that you're really committed to achieving and accomplishing in your life, your vision, your mission, your strategy, your objectives, your dream life, your values, all this good stuff. We'll get that detailed. We'll break that down into bite-sized steps so you can get your 3-year goal, your 1-year goal, your 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, 1 week. So you have a clear pathway of how to achieve your biggest priorities, the most important things to you in your dreams. And over the course of 21 days, we'll do all that. Plus, we'll dial in your morning and your nighttime routines so that you can truly show up as your greatest possible self. You can prepare the night before to show up as a freaking powerhouse. You're just on fire, crushing the day, so crystal clear on your priorities, doing what it takes to take care of yourself, your self-love, nurturing, having fun, really balancing out your schedule so that you have all the aspects of your life really getting fulfilled. Plus, you achieve your 21-day goal, the top priority, the most important thing to you to achieve in 21 days. That's the 21-day challenge, and we'll do daily progress reports, weekly deep dive calls. It's all one-on-one VIP with me. So if that's what you are looking for, definitely send me a message, chris@beyourgps.com. And also you can message me on Facebook, facebook.com/th3burns. Let me know you are ready to go. Would love to have you in the next 21-day challenge. Next is our iTunes review of the week. Our iTunes review of the week this week is by the one and only Obsidian. Okay, and Obsidian, inspired by Obsidian, says, what did she say about the show? Let me pull that up right now. Inspired by Obsidian says, pulling it up, still pulling it up. Good thing I took a screenshot of it. She said, soul fire. Obsidian says, soul fire. Whenever I have the opportunity to connect with Chris, he leaves me feeling inspired, refreshed, and determined. People like Chris are examples of what becoming your greatest possible self looks like. A gift to this world, a walking, talking, and thriving legacy. Thank you, Chris. And if you want to give us a review, go to beyourgps.com/iTunes. You can do that there, or search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self in the iTunes store or on Facebook, and you can give us a review in either place, and we appreciate you for doing that, letting us know what you really value about the show, how it can be improved, how it can grow, what you want to see different, and how it can be even more valuable to you. Thanks so much in advance for doing that. We appreciate you. Now, the man of the hour is totally here and looks great. High quality background. Love it. He had the skyline of San Diego in his background. So, Leo, I'm going to read your intro and then I'm going to bring you on in as soon as I'm done. So just hang tight for another minute or two and then we'll get you on. So everyone definitely stay tuned because Leo is a freaking powerhouse. He's 18 years old and just absolutely crushing it. I love seeing his work ethic, his determination, and his energy that he brings, and it's just a sense of professionalism, of passion and purpose, and you can tell this guy is going the distance. So make sure you stick around, stay till the end, because we're going to be diving into some really, really juicy topics, and you know, if you have kids or if you want to inspire the next generation, this is the interview to listen to on how you can do that, how you can really tap into that mindset, to that paradigm, into the language to speak so that you can really make that difference and that impact, okay? So Leandro Brandão. Leandro is a teenpreneur whose passion is saltwater aquariums, which have helped him through many tough times. Leandro started an aquarium maintenance service in San Diego called Reefalicious, as well as co-founded a clothing brand for entrepreneurs called Enspire. Leandro is a serial author with having 3 books and a 4th being released this autumn. He is also an editor of San Diego's only print entrepreneur magazine called Life by Design. Leandro pioneered the Young Entrepreneur Society Club at his high school and is now a director at multiple schools. He helps fellow students like him who have the burning desire to start their own business and pursue their passions successfully. He aspires to be the person he wished he had when he was younger. Leandro is an 18-year-old hustler trying to make his and those he surrounds himself with dreams a reality. He believes that age doesn't define the man someone is, but the impact that they leave to those around them does. Awesome. Leandro, are you ready to rock, brother?
I am. Thank you so much for having me, man.
Awesome, dude. You are now live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. Thanks so much for coming on here today to be with us and share your wisdom and life lessons and wisdom. I appreciate you, man.
Oh, no, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here, man. At
Absolutely.
18, this is phenomenal.
Absolutely, dude. So this is just the beginning, and we start off every beginning of the 12-hour marathon with our question of the day, which is based on our theme of the day, which today is presence. So, Leo, how does this concept of presence play a role in your life? How has it made a difference for you? What impact has it had on you?
So presence ultimately is the forefront of getting to know people and getting to express your brand, really. And so for me, presence is really just making yourself known. You can go out there and you can really just meet a bunch of different people on networking mixers. And for me, I'm an introvert. So for me, it really hits kind of hard to home is that if I do go out and reach a specific people, targeted people like you, thank God. But I can go out and reach out to those people and make myself kind of known in the aspect where it's just like I'd like to rather get to know specific people rather than everyone. So that's kind of my aspect on presence and how it's hit me at home.
Beautiful, man. So I hear it's like when you trust yourself and know yourself, and then you get out there in the world, like you have a presence that will connect you with the right people. When you're present, when you're in the moment, you really just attract the right people and you connect to the right people to be able to fulfill your purpose and your dreams and what's most important to you.
Exactly. No, it's all about fate, to be honest. It's just basically about who connects with who connects with who. And ultimately that's like what leads you to the right path is your network is your network. And so for me, it's like just with those little connections with me being my presence known. And ever since I was little, everyone's always told me, hey, Leandro, or hey, Leo, you're going to be successful. I can see that ever since I was little. And so with that constant mentality in my brain there, in my mind, I've always just said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to listen to them. I am going to be successful. So I put my presence out there, me letting everyone know that I am going to be successful, and I already see myself successful. I'm not a millionaire, but I'm going to be.
Yes.
And so by me putting that presence out there, it's attracted countless mentors for me. And it's just phenomenal. The fact that like just in this past year alone, by me expressing myself a little bit more and me showing people, you know, my true self and my passions in business and entrepreneurship and, you know, building that life, that it can ultimately lead down to a path of entrepreneurship, which is amazing.
That's awesome. So I want to ask you a question before we get into more about like what you do and you know your journey and stuff. I'm curious, between last year, this time, October of 2017, and October of this year, 2018, what would you say has changed the most in your vision and where you're going to be going and what your life is, what's important to you in your life?
Oh my gosh. I mean, so much. I'm like dumbfounded right now because it's amazing how life has changed so much for me. So when I was a 17-year-old last year, actually in October, I was on my path to going to college. I wanted to go to a community college in the Florida Keys, and I wanted to study corals and how to save, you know, coral reefs, and as well as, you know, give back to the community out there, and, you know, because ultimately without corals we can't breathe. And so for me, that's my passion is, you know, getting out there and going out into the reefs and seeing everything, especially with, you know, the huge global warming crisis with everything that's going on and global climate change is just so unfortunate. And so for me, I saw myself really being a hands-on scientist and, you know, owning my own farm in possibly Hawaii, growing out corals or something like that. And, you know, propagating them on reefs. And that's just, for me, that was going to be the life. And just now it's, I see myself change so much from just that strictly college mindset, because I thought that's the only way you can be successful, to now saying, okay, yeah, I'd love to go to college and study specific things that are going to benefit me. Such as accounting and stuff like that. But for me, it's mainly about the whole aspect is one thing my mentor, Stephen Delacruz, teaches me a lot is success is not taught, it's caught. So by being around these successful people, when I started surrounding myself by successful people and stopped going to parties and drinking and all that teen stuff, I started really changing my mindset. And so from a year from now, or from then to now, I see myself expand. I mean, downtown, it's like I've never even been here before that. And so for me now to be in my mentor's penthouse doing a live video, that's just amazing to me. So
dude, that's so rad. So, moving forward, you see like just such a more expanded vision for your life. You're, like you said, you've caught this success. You've caught the vision of what's possible because of the people that you've surrounded yourself by. So I love that, man. We're going to be diving into that and how presence has played a role in that and how your journey has unfolded to that. And for people who are just now learning about you, why don't you tell a little bit more about, Reefalicious and what you're working on today? I mentioned a couple times, author and stuff, but just from your own words, what is it that you're doing today, and tell us a little bit more about your where you're at.
So today I'm a cook at a restaurant downstairs in my mentor's penthouse called Lola 55. Ever since I was little, I've always wanted to own a restaurant. That's my first thing in entrepreneurship. I believe around 3 years old when I started telling my mom I wanted to own a restaurant. And she was like, what the heck's wrong with you? You're a kid.
Wow.
and I started telling her that. And then I ended up learning how to cook for my aunt. And so that's like what kind of got me my taste of entrepreneurship. But as a cook right now, I'm learning more hands-on business experience rather than behind the scenes. So I'm currently building funnels, websites for people, all of that jazz. And I'm starting a entrepreneur, like motivational clothing, not just brand, but we're gonna start creating podcasts and live videos and providing information. And so that's like my thing is giving back to people. So speaking of giving back to people, I am a director at Yes, at Steel Canyon. It's Young Entrepreneur Society for those of you who don't know. And so basically what we do is we bring in mentors to the high schools. We provide them a free lunch. So I'm donating my money to the kids. And I'm buying them lunch once a week. And what we end up doing is we impact them in so many different ways. And it's amazing to see the results from last year. Some kid ended up, one of our students, I was a student leader at the time. And so he ended up starting up a dog walking business, which is amazing. And then his sister, through our club as well, was able to start selling her art online and making posters for people. So that's kind of my passion, is a little bit of giving back. My books, I've written one about like quick tips of aquariums. I've written one on the wealthy mindset and as well as becoming better you. So those are online. You can go ahead and get linked to them on our Instagram. I'll go ahead and give that to you guys in a little bit. And then what else? For me, my aquariums. Okay, so that's my passion, man. I truly, truly love aquariums, and it's kind of a weird thing. Ever since I was little, I've always had, freshwater tanks and all that. And I've always told my mom, I want a saltwater aquarium. I want a saltwater aquarium. She's like, it's so expensive. It's too hard to maintain. You're a kid. You don't know anything about it. So when I was 13 or 14, I went to go visit my family in Miami and saw his aquarium, or my cousin's aquarium, and fell in love. And so that's kind of what got me into the aquarium, started surrounding myself in aquarium storage, volunteered my time. And now I fortunately got to go out of my own way and start my own servicing business, which is awesome.
Wow.
So.
Dang, that's so awesome, man. So you've been peppering a lot of really cool like golden nuggets throughout this. 3 years old, you said you wanted to own a restaurant. You started this business when your mom said like you don't know anything about aquariums or taking care of this. It's too much work for you. All this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I really really admire that, and it's like it's been in you your whole life, which is really really cool. I think a lot of people discover entrepreneurship at a later date. Like I know for me, my parents both worked, like 8 to 5 kind of jobs. So I didn't necessarily have an entrepreneurial mindset growing up, and my grandpa had it. And I think it skipped a generation and came to me. So did you have an entrepreneurial family growing up, or how did you get this mindset?
Honestly, no one. I guess by having a really rough past, by being, I have a lot of limiting beliefs, as well as I quote unquote make myself to seem good. I have a lot of limiting beliefs, and I've been told by some people that I'm going to be successful and other people that I'm not going to be anything, quote unquote. And so that kind of, the negative energy kind of feeds me and makes me want to be better. My grandma, I guess she was the only entrepreneurial person that I know since I was little. And she unfortunately had Alzheimer's when I was younger, so I didn't really get to know that business side of her. But apparently she was like the biggest hustler in our family. So that's amazing that she would get knives and stuff like that, and then fancy them up and then sell them. Or she owned her own beauty boutique, constant, just a bunch of different things. She owned a lot of real estate as a single mother. It's truly amazing. So I guess that's kind of where I'm getting my inspiration now, is seeing her. And unfortunately, she just passed a few months ago. But 15 years with Alzheimer's, so I didn't really get to know her that well. But her stories that the family has told is truly kind of impacted me now. It's like the fact that, like, okay, you know what, she lost 3 husbands, and obviously not together, but she lost them in different times. And it's just constantly made her the stronger woman that she is. And so it kind of makes me see that, like, hey, you know what, I've had a lot of people in my life leave, or unfortunate stuff happened to them. And so for me, I can really feel that I've kind of built on that as a businessman, young entrepreneur, I should say. But other than that, I guess not really no entrepreneurs except for my grandma and my aunt. My family in Portugal that I've met once does have a restaurant. But other than that, that's really it.
Okay. Side question. You remind me a lot of Ty Lopez. Do you ever get that comment?
Oh my gosh, everyone calls me Mini Ty. I love it. So everyone, oh, you look like Ty Lopez. People in Stijla, so the success group that I'm in, started calling me Mini Ty and stuff like that. I'm like, you know what, man, give me a Lamborghini and I'll gladly be Ty Lopez. Like,
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So that also led into my next question. Is like, he's a really big, influential, inspirational guy in the entrepreneurship and online marketing world today. Who have been some of your biggest inspirations, and how did they inspire you? What did they give to you? What did they contribute to you to be inspired, to align with a purpose, to be motivated and go after your dreams?
So, like I've stated before, is that the fact that, like, for me, when something bad happens to me, I try getting out of that poor me mindset, and I try getting to that positivity. Like, you know what, at least on the bright side, I can do this. Right. So for me, I'm going to get a little deep, if that's okay, guys. For me, my mom divorced my dad when I was 3 because he was using a lot of drugs. And so basically when he left, he started being a really negative person to me. Never met him until probably about 2 years ago. And so basically through that, I kind of got to see how of a person that I shouldn't be. And so that's kind of changed me a little bit, like, hey, this is how I'm going to be a better father. This is what I'm going to do to provide for my future kids. So that kind of pushed me a little bit more. And so with that negativity, I ended up reaching out and got a few mentors. So one of my mentors is Stephen Dela Cruz, and he's a serial entrepreneur who owns 10 plus corporations. Each grosses him at least 7 figures a year. And so it's truly inspirational how such at a young age you can be that successful, but yet so humble and down to earth. So he's taught me actually a lot of what I know today, and as well as Frank Vizcarra. So he is a serial entrepreneur. He opened the restaurant downstairs called Lola 55, and this is the one that I cook at, and he's my aunt's mentor. But for him, he's really changed my mindset the most out of anyone. He's truly an amazing person. He's partial owner of all of Tender Greens. He is he's CEO to Taco Bell, McDonald's, or not CEO, sorry, CEO advisor of and financial advisor of Taco Bell, McDonald's, multiple really up there corporations, and Coca-Cola company and all that. So he started mentoring me as well, and I'm truly thankful for that. So other than that, those are the people that have mentored me. But the people that I kind of look up to, honestly, it's going to sound really funny, but the one person who really like I saw all over Snapchat, Ty Lopez, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of got into him, and I was like, you know what, man, like I see those Lamborghinis, those Ferraris, and unfortunately, that's all my generation sees is the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris, and that's all what we fall into. But if it wasn't for that, then I wouldn't have started pursuing my passions in business. So that's truly. Before all these guys, there were Ty Lopez. So
I love it. Well, I love that you said that. I love that you said that because, you know, really there was a initial impulse, there was initial impetus to get you into this world, and maybe that was Ty Lopez, maybe that was the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris. I know for me, when I started my entrepreneurial journey like 6 years ago, right? Like I was in college, I was getting my electrical engineering degree. I said, this is all I want to do for the rest of my life. I'm cool, capped out at $150K a year for the rest of my life, retire when I'm, 50, 55, whatever it might be. And then I joined a network marketing company. I was like, oh, what? Like there's 18-year-olds making six figures, like out they're still in college, like what? Or they don't have to go to college or whatever it might be. And so like that world got introduced to me because I wanted money. I wanted the flashy stuff. I wanted the cars. I wanted the women, I wanted it all. I had that kind of egotistical drive in me. And I quickly found out that wasn't really what motivated me. It wasn't really what carried me the distance, because after a while I was just like, dude, there's something missing. I keep like focusing on the money and talking about the money and hoping and wishing and praying for the money and developing myself to attract that. But I wasn't really making the progress that I wanted to. It seemed like I was making progress in every other area of life. In my relationships, I was making progress. In my health, I was making progress. In my self-image, self-worth, different stuff. But it never seemed to come in the money. That was like years ago. And so I was like, damn, this sucks. And now looking back, I'm like, I am so grateful I didn't like come up with six figures like right out of the bat in college, because I probably would have squandered it. I probably would have threw it all away. I probably would have gotten into trouble with it and done stupid stuff and really ruined my life with it. So it's like that patience really taught me some valuable lessons of and wisdom in my journey. And I'm so grateful that happened. But that was just, for me, that was such a big thing. It's like what started me is not what keeps me going today. I see so much bigger fulfillment in impacting people and communities and getting people's message out there and helping people discover their dreams. Like that's the fulfilling stuff. That's the juice, right? Like I would do that all day long, even if you didn't pay me, because it's so much fun, because it's so fulfilling for me. So it's like, I love how we get started on something and then we transition into something else that is a more pure form of our passion and our purpose as we discover it. So I'm still here. I'm still here. Okay. I just wanted to give you space.
No.
Yeah. So that was huge for me. So moving into what it takes that you think to build a successful business and what you've seen, what's worked for you with Reefalicious. Oh well, he was there. I love it. Now you get to see me from two sides. Ooh. And we're back. Oh my gosh, I love it.
That's.
You still there? Boom.
Yeah, I can totally hear you now.
Cool, awesome. Perfect. So I was saying, what would you say has been the most important things for you getting Reefalicious to be successful, writing these books? Like, what has been most important for you so far in your journey, the principles that you've really had to live by and embody to get the success and progress that you've gotten?
So being my own brand, I feel like that's a huge thing. So my mentor, Frank Viscara, he's the one who kind of taught me about being my own brand. I know I could have easily outsourced my work. Like I had multiple friends who were saying, hey, I would love to do what you're doing because you can make good money for our age, way above minimum wage. Right. And I'm like, okay, cool. To service, for example, I'm just gonna say, to service someone's 55-gallon tank, I usually charge $1 per gallon. So it's $55 for like an hour's worth of work. I could have said, hey, dude, I'll teach you how to do this and I'll pay you $20 to do this. And any kid my age would say, dude, I'll gladly do it for an hour, $20 an hour. But the thing is, with that being said, I would rather charge lower and keep the customer and build my own brand. I want them to get to know me as the teen entrepreneur who's hustling his ass off, right?
Yeah.
And so basically with that being said, I kind of built my Reefalicious brand around myself as well as the Inspired brand. The Inspired brand is not going to be strictly about me, but it's going to be strictly around the idea of entrepreneurship and the young entrepreneurship, the young money of the Lamborghinis, of Ferraris. If we have our Instagram page is inspired with an e.official. And so if you look on there, it's just going to be all like Lamborghinis and Ferraris, but it's like all motivational quotes. Right. So that's what kind of we're that we love doing, is just giving back to the community, kind of with inspiring people. Like I wish people would have inspired me.
Wow, that's powerful. So is like this inspiration, what does inspiration really mean to you, and how does that lead to being a better you? Like why have you focused on getting more inspiration in your life and inspiring others, and why is that important to living your purpose and being a successful entrepreneur? And I think there has been a pause.
So for me, I'm going to get deep once again.
Cool.
Yeah, no, it's glitching out, man. I'm so sorry.
Hey, it's all good. All good. I hear you again.
Yeah, I heard your question completely.
Cool.
So my whole thing is my thing about being inspired, and why it's so important, why I love to inspire others, is the fact that I really didn't have anyone to do it for me unless I finally reached out. And so for me, it's like always negativity. Is like, I told my mom my dreams. I've told my dad, my real dad, my dreams. And I always got shut down. You know, after meeting my dad with high expectations of him, he told me that I was the biggest mistake of his life and all this really unfortunate, you know, messed up stuff. And so for me, that like really lowered down my inspiration, saying, hey, you know what, like I don't really want to be this guy. And so really that's why I kind of want to give back, is the fact that I want to be the man that I wish I had when I was younger. I never really had that like really father figure-ish kind of thing. And I'm not saying this to make you guys feel bad for me at all. I'm saying this as a way to look at your negatives as a positive. There's always a rainbow after a hurricane, right? Yeah. And so basically what I really want to say is I really encourage you to give back, because for me it feels way better giving than receiving it. And I'm pretty sure you guys can feel that. If you make $1,000 in one day and you say, okay, you know what, with this money I'm gonna donate 5% of it, and you go out and give $50 to some homeless guy, or you make $50 worth of food and go feed 10 homeless people on the street, that's like, it feels so much better than making that $1,000 that you received.
Yeah, that's powerful. So being inspired is like you want to give back what you didn't have when you were growing up, which was encouragement and support, and letting people know that they can do it. They have that capacity within them. They have the power and the potential to do that. And I think that's super powerful, because I think the biggest dreams and the most powerful purpose comes from our own wounds, right? A lot of people create their purpose because of their wounds and because of what they either did or didn't get when they were growing up. So I think that's super powerful, man. So why did you choose to focus on being a better you and representing that and teaching that to people? Like, yes, you had this motivation to not be like your dad, so to speak, or not be like the environment and support that you had growing up, and be different. But why be a better you? Why did you really focus in on that aspect as the thing that will move the needle forward the most in your life and the people's lives around you?
Exactly. Okay, that's really amazing. So I really thank you for that question, because this is one of the most home-hitting questions to me. Yes, that whole event happened with my father and all of that, but I feel like those events can tear us down, but how we react to it, if we react negatively, that tears us down even more. Yeah. So for me, after going through multiple, I was going out with some chick, and then all of this stuff happened, and ended up having a really good friendship with multiple people, and then ended up cutting them out because they were toxic. And after just all of this stuff, I ended up getting very suicidal and depressed. And I started attempting to kill myself multiple times. And this was freshman year of high school. Wow. And so it got to the point where I just didn't want to live anymore. And unfortunately, I tried teaching, or not, this is fortunately, not yet. But so I really love to teach people to be a better them because of the fact that we all have greatness inside of us. It's what we do with it makes us who we are. So basically we all have, in my opinion, I'm quoting from Harry Potter if you guys are fans, but Sirius Black said this. He goes, we all have light and dark in us. It's what we choose to act upon. That's what makes us who we are. Yeah. So for me, I had the darkness with my father and the darkness with my relationships and the darkness with everything that was going on in my life. And yet I reacted negatively to that and it made me go in a downward spiral. But now it's like the fact that I can finally get out there and impact kids who are going through what I went through. And it's really happening because unfortunately, 3 days ago, a junior who went to the high school that I just graduated from, committed suicide. And so it's like, it just makes me feel that now that I get to go in with and go into different high schools and we get to go out and start impacting the youth and, teaching people to be a better them. No matter what, that there's always downsides. We all have problems. That's kind of what makes us entrepreneurs. Yeah. But the fact is that we can all react to it differently. And I know it's hard, but ultimately we get through it.
So if there was one message that you could give to everyone who is having those suicidal thoughts or tendencies right now in their own life, or maybe they know someone who is, what would you say to them?
Reach out. Honestly, no matter what, reach out to the right people. Talking is the best medicine, in my opinion. When I was going through that, I had one person that I would constantly go to and ask for advice and tell them about what's happening. And it got to the point where she was really worried about me. And my mom didn't know about this. We all have our masks. And she reached out to my mom and told my mom what was happening. And my mom freaked out. She was like, I never knew this was happening. Why wouldn't you tell me? You seem happy. So I want you guys to, the people who are going through this, or if you have a friend who's going through this, really lower down your mask and open up to those people that you are close with, whether it be family or friends or your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. Even a therapist. Therapists are one of the best people to talk to. As soon as I went and talked to them about my feelings, it made me feel 10,000 times better. I've talked to my friends about it multiple times, but it's like from listening to a professional and them just knowing what they could help me professionally was truly the best thing that ever happened to me. And I am appreciative of everyone who helped me through this on this journey. Depression, anxiety, and all of that is not a joke, guys. It's truly sad, and it's unfortunate that it impacts some people, especially women and all that. I really advise you guys to just go out there and reach those people and do something that you really love doing. And for me, that was my dreams.
Powerful, man. I totally resonate too with the, like, who you share it with is important too. Like who do you confide in? Because like you said, there's paid professionals, there's therapists, or there's people, coaches, whatever it might be. Like these people know how to guide a conversation. They know how to take you to a place of like, hey, you're here right now. Where do you want to be? You probably want to feel better. You probably want to feel worthy. You want to feel like there's a reason to live. Well, how do we get there? And it's like, if I'm a professional, I'm going to be there, right there with you, like neck and neck, side to side, shoulder to shoulder, and say, hey, tell me what's going on. Just exactly. Like let me know. And so people feel like they're able to release all the pressure. I think a lot of that overwhelm and anxiety and depression comes because there's so much pressure to, like you said, the mask, right? Putting on the mask to keep it down deep. So I'm really, really grateful that you're here on the planet, Leo, to inspire people, to inspire others, and not just with the Instagram motivation, and also to like really come with a message of like, I went through this and you don't have to suffer through this. Like come talk to me. I'm here for you. Or talk to a friend, talk to a professional, whatever it might be, to get that support that you need. So thank you for being a stand for that and making that a core part of your mission and what you're here to do, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So in terms of like really stepping into that best you, How do we do that? How do we own that? Like, what is the daily practice of that? How do we know if we're actually becoming that person on a weekly or a monthly or a yearly basis?
So my whole thing is I focus on long term rather than short term. So I would really recommend routines. This is what I'm getting into. I'm just starting this routine nightly where I read 10 pages of a motivational book a night at least, and that will ultimately lead me down to success, right? If we read 10 pages of something that's going to help us, at least 10 pages, guys. I mean, 10 pages is nothing. That's sitting there for minimum like 10, 15 minutes of reading.
Right.
And you do that before you go to bed, and that's going to help you go to sleep, actually. So quick tip. But really, I would recommend just focus on reading the right way. And so by reading every night, you're going to like slowly set your mind into that positive attitude. And ultimately that's going to lead you down to a path where, 10 pages a day, 3,500 pages a year. And that's a lot of books now that you say that, right? And rather than saying, 10 pages is literally nothing. But then you say, okay, cool. That 10 pages adds up to 3,500 or 3,650 pages a year, right? So that's minimum. Yeah. So basically, I would really recommend you guys to just do that. That's going to help you build a better you. But really find your passion and find mentorship. So for me, my passion was aquariums, and I was going through a lot of really rough time. And so with the aquariums, that kind of helped me build a positive me, because I felt like I was finally in control of something, life, shit was hitting the fan for me. And I was going through all of this negative stuff, through high school. And I said, okay, screw this. Now that I have this big aquarium and all this stuff that's in it, I get to see the Nemo, the Dory, all that swimming around in my tank. And I'm like, I get to have that, and I feel in control. I can mess up salinity or alkalinity, and that can kill them, or I can keep it in track and I can keep them. So ultimately, there's that aspect of building a better you, is finding your passion, because that's going to make you so much better. That's going to be your natural high, rather than, smoking weed like I was, or taking pills like I was. That's not a good thing. And so basically what I really recommend you guys to do is find your passion, but as well as get mentorship. I had my passion and I didn't know what to do with it. But then I started speaking to Steven Dela Cruz. And I mean, without him, I wouldn't be the person that I am today, because of the fact that I had all these business ideas, but I didn't know where to go with them. And it's amazing that he's had these successes and that he can teach us on it, or me or whatever. But he taught me on it, and it helped me build to the person I am today. I mean, a year ago, I didn't know anything about it. And literally 6-7 months ago, I started getting into it. And all these accomplishments that I've had have been in a 6 and 7 month period. Wow. So that's kind of amazing for me.
Yeah.
The fact that my life changed in half a year.
What do you think attracted these mentors to you?
I think being young, really, I truly, every kids out there my age really are focused on, girls, drunk, parties, all that stuff, right? Or focusing on, long-term of going straight to college and getting a job later on. So I think that's the kind of thing that attracted him a little bit to me, was the fact that I'm so young and I'm so coachable, to the aspect where our minds are so impressionable when we're young. And it's like, we can mold it into whatever we want to. It's kind of like a clay in pottery. When on our pottery wheel, we have the clay, and when it's staying there longer, it gets really harder. So I feel like it's the fact that he can build leaders, and that's what he's done with me so much, is I'm I'm actually the youngest leader in Stijla, which is awesome.
That's
so
epic.
Yeah. So there's that. But basically for me, it's kind of what I guess really what it drew him to me a little bit was the fact that I'm young and I'm impressionable, and that I work my ass off. So
yeah.
there's that. Maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask him about that now.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. So when it comes to planning and forecasting for, your best months ever and your best year ever, what are you focused on for coming up for 2019, and how are you going into it strong with a game plan?
Dang, it's all like, so my game plan really is to focus on me. That's still, ultimately the greatest investment is in yourself. And so I can lose my businesses, I can lose my income, I can lose all of that. But at the end of the day, if I have a smart mindset, I can build from that. So I understand that I'm still young and I don't know anything compared to everyone. But for me, that's why I just try building myself. My goal is by the time I'm 25, I'd like to own 100 apartment units. So that's kind of my goal. Is I really love real estate. But I guess that's pretty much it. That's my goal for 2019 is just build a better me. Other than that, I mean, maybe, there's just one goal that I've really had is my teacher told me I wouldn't be shit, quote unquote, to him. So this is my wallpaper. It's a Ferrari Mondial. And he told me this last year on May 23rd of 2018. So this year at 9:23 a.m., he told me I'm not going to be shit. And he pulled me in front of the class and says, this kid thinks he's going to be the greatest entrepreneur of all time, quote unquote. And then he goes, this kid thinks he's going to get a Ferrari. And I'm like, okay, cool. A year from now, I'm getting this Ferrari. So he probably forgot about that, but I didn't, because it's my wallpaper.
Damn. So that's awesome. Dude. So how important is it to you to, like, is it about proving to other people? Is it about proving to yourself? Is it about proving people right, proving people wrong? What would you say is motivation for you?
Proving people wrong, but building, that's not my why, but that's kind of the thing that makes me, I don't know, I'm kind of the guy that if you mess with me, then I'm like, all right, cool, I'm going to get back at you 10.
That's right.
You're wrong. So there's that aspect. There's that aspect, but then there's the whole thing of, I want to build my family, my future family, obviously not right now, but I want to build that relationship where I can hustle my ass off now and be able to buy a nice house, be able to have a few nice cars, Ferrari being one of them. But that's kind of one of my things is I just really want to focus on my family, because I don't want to be that businessman who's working his ass off while his family's I'm not being able to spend time with my family. So I really want to be able to sit there and make some residual income, but yet I understand there's gonna be work. But I really want to have that aspect of me getting to know my family.
Beautiful.
Even though I don't have, like, my future family, let's just say.
That's powerful, man. I think something that I was talking about in the last interview is like designing what you want that life or what you want those relationships to look like, whether it's with your family, whether it's your dream client, your mentor, your partner, your business partner, whatever it is, like designing that relationship. What does it look like? What are the characteristics? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? To paint the picture. Where is it? How is it? Like, I think that was so powerful for me to build the best me that I could, is to get a clear picture of it beforehand and create the qualities and attributes and aspects of it so I could define it and know if I was living that or if I was off track. One of the other things I wanted to ask is, Sam Shelley's in the audience. He's been on the show before. He talks about clearing head trash. So I'm curious, do you have a process for like clearing mental negativity or stuff when you feel overwhelmed? Not necessarily like you're depressed or anything like that, and although it could be that, but just like to be able to get it out and to get that out of your space and to clear that. Do you have any like go-to processes for that?
Oh, so for me, I battle with some bipolarism as well as really bad anxiety, really bad depression. And so for me, my mind is filled with thoughts of bad stuff. What if this is going to happen? What if this is going to happen? And so for me, it's like, I those thoughts overwhelm me so, and putting a bad panic attack. So I'm sitting there shaking, throwing up, crying, can't control myself. So for me to clear those thoughts, aquariums. It sounds really weird, but my first panic attack. Is it okay if I tell a quick story?
Yeah,
quick?
absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So my first panic attack happened to me when I ended up getting out of a toxic relationship with someone. And she was someone that I was really, really close to, but she would create drama and then expect me to fix it up. And I was just like, you know what? I don't need this in my life. So I just dropped her off, and it, like, all this weight fell off my shoulders. And then by being released so quickly, I immediately fell into anxiety, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of screwed me over. I was so close to this person, and I started thinking, like, dude, I just lost this person, whatever. And so then I couldn't breathe. And I pulled out my inhaler. I started using the inhaler. Obviously, that's not going to work. And I was just in the bathroom throwing up, crying, and I, like, wobbled into my room and started cleaning my fish tank. And so my aquarium was dirty, and I'm kind of OCD. And so I started cleaning that out, and I started cleaning it and just, moving all the rocks around and stuff like that. And in an instant, it started going away slowly but surely. Wow. And, it was just, that's my way now, is that if I come home from a really late day at work, like 12 o'clock at night or 1 a.m. or whatever, and I'm just like, great, I have to wake up in 4 hours. But it's like, okay, now, and then I start stressing myself at night. Okay, I have to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. When it's like, okay, you know what? I don't need to do that. I have all these cluttered thoughts that just went through my head. Something that came in today, all my problems today at the restaurant, all my problems with, my business and all of that. I'm just like, you know what? I stressing me out so much. And so I just go, okay, with my aquarium. And actually, it's funny thing is, that it was, like, statistically proven to reduce anxiety and depression and all these funny, like, clear mind. Mm-hmm. For doing that on my own. And so that's kind of my whole thing, is that, like, I got to really relax in my aspect of, just being me and just clearing those thoughts out of my mind. And so now it's like, I can take a deep breath, right? And I can finally see that through these negative times, there's a few things that have been always there for me is my friends, my family, and with the aquarium is the one thing that I can fully control, because I can control how much out, salinity, all of that. I can control that. But unlike life, the friendships and the relationships that you have cannot be controlled.
Wow, that's powerful, man. Powerful realization.
Thank
so,
you,
dude, we're beginning to come to the close of this, and we want to know, like, what are the final pieces of wisdom or final takeaways that you want to give our audience in terms of being the best that we can be, the best you?
Honestly, I would say try something new, right? You new thing, right? You say, okay, cool, maybe I can do this. I can do this with it. I love cars, so I can go, maybe I can upgrade these rims. Maybe I can figure out or something like that. For me, my thing was with my aquarium is I figured, hey, maybe I can start growing and propagating corals. So I started making money off of that. I started negotiating deals for corals, and it's amazing how once you're finally passionate about something, you're trying it and you're trying it and you're trying it again and again and again. And it's just getting you so hyped up about it. And so for my thing would really be try something new, whether it's, going out on a different date than you usually do. For me, go to aquarium, right? I've never been, I've been to Birch Aquarium a few times when I was little, never been, go to Birch Aquarium, right? I'm planning on going now, but basically just try something new. That's the ultimate thing, because if you never know if it's going to be happy, if it's going to make you happy, if it's going to be your biggest passion. I tell my friends that my passion is aquariums, and they're like, what the hell's wrong with you? It's just fish swimming around. But it's like, it's one of the most relaxing things. And for me, it's just, that's my way of just being me, and being a better me is just relaxing. And I really do love being relaxed, and imagine what it can do for you, right? So that's kind of my little mini golden nugget, is just try something new. Go do something that you never thought you would have done. Start something that you never would have done. You want to own your own business? Start it. Life is so short, and I'm seeing that with all these unfortunate deaths that have happened this year for me. And I think we all need to get out there and do it, and literally just Nike, just do it. But
That's right. Just do it, man. I love it. Leandro, you're a freaking powerhouse, brother. Thank you so much for coming on today. I know that there's people out there listening and watching who want to know how to stay connected with you, how they can keep growing with you, how they can, stay connected with your journey. And dude, you have so much potential, so much life ahead of you, so much possibility just oozing out of you, so much energy and passion. It's just super, super awesome, man. So how do people do that? How do they stay connected with you? What do we want them to do next?
So for you guys, I would really love if anyone has my first thing is, if you guys have any problems, anxiety, depression, all of that, please reach out to me. My Instagram is going to be MR and then _ BRANDAO. So it's Mr. _ and then my last name.
Okay.
That would be a really good way to, or just typing. I really would love to hear your story, and how it could possibly help. But as well as if you guys need motivation, another way to easily connect with me is through our Instagram, the inspired.official. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be with an E, and there's we can easily get motivation. If you guys do want to possibly get into aquariums, don't know, or if you guys just want to check it out and see the beauty of it, there's my Instagram is going to be @Reef and then Alicious. So like Fergalicious, but Reef. So other than that, guys, I would really love you guys to connect with me. Please, it needs to be helping other people. It really does. If you have no one to talk to, I would be that person to talk to you guys. It's unfortunate what happened with this kid at my school, and for him taking his life. I wish that I could have been that person there to talk to him, even though I didn't know him. So really, guys, if you guys ever need anything, please contact me and I'll be here for you.
Awesome. Dude, Leandro, thank you so much for coming on, brother. We appreciate you. Thank you for being a role model, an example, and a leader for not only kids and teenagers and young adults, and also for older generation as well. Just to say, hey, you can get started. It doesn't matter what age you are, how young, how old, whatever. Just get started. And I really appreciate you, man. And everyone, definitely stay connected with Leo. Stay connected with him on the social medias, and reach out if you need any support. If you're having depression, or if you're having those thoughts, definitely connect with him. And Leo, thanks for coming on, and we'll see you soon, man.
No problem. Thank you for having me. Bye, guys.
All right. Take care, brother.